your radios up. Turn your radios up. You know who this is. You know what this is. It is time. The time has come to activate B-Eazy, that dude. Another impromptu stream late at night. It's gonna be a good one. But before we get into it, you already know I would be remiss if I didn't hit you.
私も地元民と言っても
さすがにです。もう友達できたの？
うん。ブッダさんもこっち見ない方がいいか
This promethazine got me leaning like a cholo in the club. I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting moto. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy, that dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji, eating tandoori and chicken curry. That ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of better.
Okay, and it looks like we already been joined by an illustrious guest, none other than John Sinatra in the building. What it do? And look, man, I'm not gonna keep y'all waiting, so I'm gonna get right into it. It's a late night impromptu stream. Don't trip. I got you. So this video that I will be reacting to is going to be a video from a content creator named Self-Talk. And Self-Talk, he does mainly sports commentary, and I guess he kind of dabbles into some of the racial, social, economic politics as well. So if anyone doesn't know, Stephen A. Smith, Sambo A. Smith, he is a commentator on ESPN. He took over First Take. It used to be him and Skip Bayless. Now Stephen A. is the big man on campus. He runs the show and he's entertaining. He's good at his job. But what some people do is they conflate someone being good at a particular job and they excuse Samboism. So I don't care. So I always say, think of it like this. If someone is very entertaining, if someone is very astute, and then they disrespect you and your mama, are you going to focus on how funny this person is, how entertaining this person is, how intellectual this person is? Or are you going to compartmentalize and say, yeah, this person don't F with me and don't F with my family, so I don't F with them? Stephen A. Smith is a buck-broken buffoon. Yes, he is smart. Yes, he is talented, but he sells out the community for some butter biscuits. That's what Stephen A. is about. He's all about the bag. And like my bro John says, money to many people is their God. Stephen A. Smith is the epitome of that. And it's just a pathetic waste that he just, sells out the community and voluntarily buck breaks himself just for, a couple pats on the head and, a few extra butter biscuit crumbs. But let's get into the video. So setting this up, This is Stephen Jackson calling out Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith has this proclivity for calling out black people. Yeah, he says, "Oh, well, don't make it about race," and I'm not calling out just black people. I call out all players, but when he calls out white people, he kind of treads lightly. He'll call them out vehemently, forcefully. But when he calls out black people, he says it with his full chest. He's foaming at the mouth. You can just feel the disdain and vitriol. But let's get into this video and see what these others have to say. Let me know if y'all can hear this video as well. So this is Stephen A. Smith. This is Stephen Jackson reacting to Stephen A. Smith. And we'll get right into the video.
Come on, Stephen A., bro. You get loud, all in your feelings about Braun. When Braun, he talking to a black billionaire, but when he talking to a white billionaire, you humble.
Okay, so as we can see, Stephen A. Smith got checked. And her husband said it flat out, like, yo, I wish you was here. I thought you were going to be here in person. Because that's how serious he was. He probably wanted to wait until the cameras cut off, and he probably was going to check Stephen A. Smith and let him know, like, yo, I didn't like what you said about my wife. But you see how Stephen A. Smith backed down. He got shut down. And Serena Williams' husband even said, like, yo, oh, are you married? No, you're not, right? Oh, well, see, I talk about helping people get billion-dollar companies because that's what I do. He was sitting there telling Stephen A. Smith, like, yo, shut your mouth. You're not even married, so you don't have no rights to talk about what married people should do. And yeah, Stephen A. Smith was quiet as a church mouse. And his co-host even seemed a little bit uncomfortable because they probably didn't know Serena Williams' husband was about to do that live on air.
Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
Well, you know what? Listen, I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time, but I was
hoping you were going to be here.
I am not.
Stephen A. Smith is usually very articulate, very eloquent with his words, and he's usually using extremely, what some would consider bigger words, bloviating, blasphemous, and, not to say that these are just huge words, but he tries to use it in a way that makes him sound more elegant and eloquent. And then here he is when this white dude is checking him. He starts stuttering and stammering. Like, come on, bruh. When you were talking about his wife, you said it with your full chest. There were no stutters. Now, this dude is saying, like, bro, I wish you was here. So he's checking you virtually, but he said, I wish you was here, bro, so I could check you to your face. Gotta respect, dude. So let's rewind it a little bit back. Stephen A. is known for tap dancing. He's not known for stuttering. Now, if this was a black person, he would have been, man, you would have seen steam coming out of his head. But since it's a white dude and Stephen A. has a proclivity for voluntarily buck breaking himself, then here you see him stuttering and acting like a little, I don't know, just like a little sassy little hoe. But let's commence.
I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
Well, you know what? Listen, I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time, but I was
hoping you were going to be here.
I am not qualified. Married?
Right.
No, not me.
But
well, that's
y'all hear this?
I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, see. Okay. Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So I generally try to stay in my lane as an advice
Then
department.
we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm going 13 years strong. We got
Deal.
you. Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event in New York. Incredible. Can't wait to watch. I'm looking for a Tiffany's crown. Appreciate you, Alexis.
Serena Williams, she is married to billionaire Alexis Ohanian. And he came on First Take today to promote some new event that he's got going on with Athos and all of that. And, people are talking about how he came at me, and took a sly dig, because of what I said and when Serena Williams was on stage performing at the Super Bowl. I've never met this man. I wish I was in studio today, but I'm not. I have a speaking engagement, so I'm out of town. That's why I was not there today. It would have been nice to meet him. I don't know the man. I have nothing against him whatsoever. I don't recall saying a negative word about him. It's just that when Super Bowl Sunday took place, when Kendrick Lamar was performing.
Do y'all hear this fool? When have you ever heard him act this humble when it comes to other people? Like Steven Jackson started out, Bron is a black billionaire. This other dude is a white billionaire. Well, why do you have to make it about race? I'm not making it about race. I'm just making an observation, like my boy Amazing Lucas would say. So Bron, black billionaire. Stephen A got all the smoke, hates Bron, always talking crap about him. He will give him his accolades and then follow it up with some underhanded comment. This other dude, hey, I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him. Yeah, but you still is groveling and bending down to the dude that you don't even know. You have more of a relationship and connection with Bron than this dude, but yet the dude comes on your show when you wasn't in there and checks you, and he did it in a very responsible, mature way. This is what you call getting marked out. Stephen A, he marked you out like the little hoe that you is. Let's commence.
Serena Williams came on stage, dancing to all of that. And according to the reports and stuff like that, she's the ex of Drake. Essentially, what I said was, why that energy for an ex? I don't want to see that. And so because of that, that's what he was alluding to. I'm glad that it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have two
Why all that energy for the black people, the black woman, the black man, but when it comes to every other group, he starts tiptoeing and tap dancing. And this is my issue with Stephen A. Smith. You see this dude, you see him yelling, foam dripping out of his mouth, slob in the corner of his mouth, veins popping out of his head, but that's only when he's talking about black people, specifically FBA, Foundational Black American Freedmen. But when it's any other racial group, suddenly that bass in his voice, the dude starts talking extremely humble, extremely meek. And that's why I have little respect for Sambo A. Smith. But let's commence.
Children together, and I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? That's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So, you give him marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give.
Bro, just shut up. You know what? Hold on. I was waiting for a time to hit this. Now, Stephen A. Smith, I gotta hit you with this one. Because this dude is just acting extremely cowardly. Oh man, if you wanted to get into it, the dude said he wanted to get into it, bro. So if you was in the studio, he would have got into it. Y'all could have got into it virtually, but like you always do, you tiptoe and you tap dance around it. And that's why Stephen A. Smith.
And you know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
Let's commence.
Advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married, so who am I to say something like that? I'm saying paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it.
So he says, of course you don't have to agree with it, but where's the lie? You're not married now. You've never been married. So when he's talking about marriage advice, he checked them in a very mature, polite way. He said, "Hey, look, I'm a billionaire. I give advice and consultation to other people and help elevate their companies and produce billion-dollar companies. I know what I'm doing, and that's my lane, and that's what I talk about." Stephen A. Smith, you talking about marriage and relationships, and then hey, bro, have you ever been married? Oh, well, dude starts stuttering and stuff. So, bro, you never been married. So, who are you to give us relationship advice, bro? We ain't trying to hear from you. Imagine you trying to get to the league. Yeah, man, I'm trying to make it to the NBA. But you're taking advice from some dude that dropped out of high school. Yeah, you were good in high school, freshman year, and then you dropped out and you stunk the rest of your basketball career. How the heck are you gonna give me advice on how to get to the NBA? And that's the same with Stephen A. He has no track record of having a successful marriage. So what advice could he give this dude who has a higher social status than him because he's white, and he has a higher social economic class status just because he's a billionaire? So Stephen A. Smith, you're looking bad, my guy. Let's commence.
And if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to say something like that, I'm saying paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said, maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after.
So are you admitting that you were disrespectful? You're saying that you would have been more respectful. So, I mean, what do you need to be more respectful if you were respectful initially? So obviously something that you said, your tone, your little sly digs, because you said this dude took a sly dig at you, whatever it was, that came off as disrespectful to others. So yeah. And speaking of that, hold on. I want to hit you with this, Stephen A. Smith, because you over here talking about everybody else except for your love life.
It's just so disrespectful for you to say something like that.
Stephen A., stay in your lane, dude. You're not qualified. Stick to talking about sports.
Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him.
Now he's saying he was just having fun. Bro, did you say it with your chest or not? Do you stand by what you said or not? Now, boys will be boys. It just was a joke. Nah, bruh. Say what you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say, bruh. That wasn't no joke. You really meant that. Dude came and he pressed you about what you meant, and now you're saying, oh, well, it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I was joking. So you said it only because it was Super Bowl Sunday? Would you have said it if it was week 16 of the regular season? Come on, Stephen A. Stop acting like the little hoe that you are.
That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently, he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest.
Come on, Stephen A., bro. You get loud and all in your feelings about Braun. When Braun, he talking to a black billionaire, but when you talking to a white billionaire, you humble. And you come back on your show talking real respectful, mild manner, man. Hey, bro, listen, bro. And you dogging the black women. Like, bro, let's stay out of politics and stick to talking about sports you never played. All right? Just stick to doing that, bro. We not gonna vote for you if you talk. I heard you talking about running. You don't do that, bro.
Yeah, so he did play sports. It's just he wasn't that good. He claimed that he was good, that he got a scholarship to Winston-Salem State, and then his first game he cracked his knee, so he averaged like .000 points. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Some of the best commentators have never played sports. So, if you're good at your job, you're good at your job. But I do fully concur with what Steven Jackson is talking about, because as much as Stephen A. keeps saying, oh, I don't want to run for president, there's people like Bill Maher and Chris Cuomo and other imbeciles that are putting a battery in his back to make him think that he has a chance. No, he doesn't have a chance. He's not going to do anything for black people. He won't say anything that will uplift or enrich black people. He will act like he's some sort of populist candidate. But Stephen A. Smith, bruh, stick to what you're doing in terms of sports, but just stay out of politics, because much of his political analysis, even when he does give something astute, is always devoid of context, devoid of nuance, devoid of substance, right? He doesn't really add all of the meat, you know what I mean? He'll add a sliver of meat versus the whole steak. Like, nah, bro, we don't need people half-stepping right now, because he likes to pander to the white woke right, you know, the Sean Hannitys, Tucker Carlsons, and all this stuff. He doesn't give a flip about the black community. So Stephen A. Smith, I don't want to hear you run. I don't want to hear you talk politics, especially for the black community. All he cares about his pockets. Stephen A. Smith, this is his words, not mine. He said he wakes up thinking about how he can make his boss more money. If that's not a broken buck dancer, I don't know what it is, bro. He's not thinking about how he can be a better loving father or better loving spouses. How can I make my white boss more money? Okay, let's commence.
We're not gonna vote for you. No, we're not. But check this out, bro. Stop, bro, okay? You do not have the same energy for other people, but you got a lot of energy for Braun and black women and everybody else. Well, stop it.
So let's see if Stephen A. Smith had that same energy he had for LeBron James after LeBron James confronted him. Then he went on that world tour talking about LeBron James and what he would have did and what he should have done and what could have happened and this and that and the third. Let's see if he say, oh, you know, if I was in the studio and Serena Williams' husband checked me like that, I would have did this. I would have said that.
My issue is with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. It was fresh out of a timeout. It was him walking to the basketball court. It was on national television. The cameras were rolling. And had I done something, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to act? You want this to be a reincarnation of Chris Rock and Will Smith? And let me state for the record that while we bring up that, let me assure you it wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have gotten my ass kicked. Because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him.
Cut it out, bruh. Does anybody believe that? If Braun had put his hands on me, I would have swung on him. And bruh, you already sound just like a little whiny hoe. You saying you would have got your ass kicked? Yeah, we already know trash, smash, and trash. We already know that. But bruh, if you are going to go and pump your chest and act like you Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Power Man, then you don't need to say what would have happened, right? You don't need to forecast. Yes, I would have got my ass kicked. Braun would have stomped a mud hole in me. But hey, I would have fought back. No, bro, you won't bust a grape in a fruit fight in a Napa winery. Like, bro, come on. Who are we kidding here, Stephen A. Smith? Let's commence.
Immediately. That I'm not going to tolerate.
I know.
Immediately swung on him.
So he's saying he won't tolerate this from Braun, but he'll tolerate it from this white billionaire Serena Williams zaddy who marked him out on his own show in a very polite way? Are you kidding me? Let's commence.
My ass kicked. Because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. That I'm not going to tolerate.
I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about it again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair and his tidy whities on the couch.
But we all know he's not gonna this man check him on this show like that. And he had absolutely nothing to say back, man. To the point where her husband was sitting there flexing his money and his status to Stephen A. Smith face. You know, that's Stephen A. Smith lingo when he talking to his other co-workers and his co-hosts and his colleagues and stuff like that. That's what he loves to do to them. But when it's done to him, he's quiet as a church mouse. So I would like for you guys to get in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Comment down, new sub if you're new sub. Catch you guys on the next one and be out. Guys, peace.
Okay, so that was the video from Self Talk, and that was reacting to Sambo A. Smith. So what I'm gonna do is add another one. This one is going to be, I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the artist. He goes by the name Sue Surf. And there's a snitching scandal going on right now. And I think that Geechee Gotti had a really, I thought he had a really good response to the whole video. So give me uno momento. Okay, so let me just set this up for you. So Sue Surf, whose real name is Rajon Cox. He's a prominent battle rapper. He's from Newark, New Jersey. Newark, you know what I mean? People know him from being on the URL, Ultimate Battle Rap League. In October 22, he was part of a federal RICO charge. If you don't know what a RICO charge is racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations. So it was a case involving the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crip gang. The indictment accused him and 9 others of participating in a criminal enterprise, and that included racketeering, conspiracy, violent crimes, illegal possession of firearms, and the potential sentences were up to 30 years. So in 2023, Sue Surf pled guilty to 2 charges, and that was racketeering, conspiracy, and possession of firearms and ammunition while being a convicted felon. He was sentenced to a mandatory of 5 years in prison, and he has an expected release of about after 3 years, you know, accounting for time served and good behavior. So the snitching scandal, it kind of popped up. There were some battles that, you know, where people would throw out little breadcrumbs and acute accusations. No one is really presenting paperwork, but some people are alleging that, hey, maybe he was the one who told on Big U. So they're saying, how was your sentence relatively very light and lenient, you know, compared to others, you know? So, but like I said, so there's a person named Math Hoffa. He's a battle rapper. He was doing a podcast interviewing Eazy the Block Captain, and Eazy the Block Captain said he would battle Sue Surf when Sue Surf came out of prison. Math Hoffa alluded to, oh man, like you would battle him, you know, and he was alluding to the allegations. And this is where it gets cowardly with people like Math Hoffa. And we're going to get into the video where Geechee breaks this down a little bit more, but I'm just giving you the preface to this discussion. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, you need to have something concrete, because accusations are extremely dangerous. If you go around and it can be anything, you can go around and say, man, you know that nigga gay, right? Like, what? Yeah, bro, he on the DL. And then if this person doesn't respond, it's like, oh man, he must be, because why he ain't saying nothing. If you crash out and get extremely pissed and it's saying, yeah man, he gotta be gay, because why else would he be acting that mad? He shouldn't even be tripping. So accusations, when weaponized, can be extremely dangerous. So let's get into this video and see what Geechee has to say about it. Give me uno momento. And while I'm waiting for that, let me. Okay, yeah, that's all I need. And shout out to the chat, those that are here live and those that will be watching the playback. So this is Geechee Gotti addressing the Math Hoffa underhanded snitch allegations of Sue Surf. But the reason why I want to cover this because it speaks to a broader point about society, culture, and just accusations, gatekeeping, etc. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Give me what you didn't really love about the Math Hoffa Eazy interview.
Oh yeah, man, I just didn't
Explain
like
to the people at home who don't really know.
So I've been seeing this narrative, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to throw too much light and gasoline on it because I know once you put like certain captions or names, it'll make it seem like you adding to the story. So I first and foremost want to be like, I'm one of the motherfuckers. You know, I ain't just saying it because it's my homeboy partner. Because if you done, you done. If you're wrong, you wrong. But I don't subscribe to the Sue Surf telling narrative that they trying to put out there on him. But for me, I felt like in Mav's situation, when you doing an interview and somebody talking about a battle, that's exactly what he seems like. Oh, I'll battle him when he get out. And then you like, wait, nigga, still battling him? And what's going on? Like, it's still rules, right? Like, you heard what I heard and all this, like you insinuating like you got some or you doing some on somebody. To me, that's just corny because the thing with battle rapping that people lose sight of is that this shit is still real life outside of it. And people like in real life, you not gonna be able to insinuate somebody something without having no concrete shit, without no consequence. Even in real life, if you really had some concrete shit on a motherfucker and you ain't willing to stand on it when you see him, you might as well stand down because it's niggas who done really told that'll still pop your ass because they feel like, nigga, they still a man, they gotta deal what they deal with. So for me, when you dealing in these certain conversations without having concrete shit and you really ain't trying to stand on that, you gotta really like kind of tread lightly on that. You know what I'm saying? Then I think.
And that was powerful what he said right there too, because people will be so-and-so snitch. Yeah, so-and-so will pop your ass. So-and-so will beat your ass. So-and-so will do a lot of dangerous stuff to you because you really don't want to see him like that. So you're saying he or she snitched behind what, a computer screen? Like Trinidad James said, I don't F with snitches, so don't tell me who telling. Once you go around saying so-and-so snitched, guess what you just did? You told on somebody that they told. Na boo boo, I'm gonna tell. It's like, yeah, bruh, you telling on somebody that they're telling. So both of y'all is telling. Now it's different if you know, because also if you was gonna do something about someone snitching, why would you tell anybody? Just go get active. Go handle your business. But the fact that you're going around telling other people that somebody might have allegedly told, man, you snitching too. You know, you soft snitching too. How is it not? I mean, you're definitely not regulating. You're not enforcing anything. You're being a chatty patty. So what if this person told, right? If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then you just look like a sucker for going around. You know he told, right? You know she told, right? Okay, what are you gonna do about it? Oh, I'm just gonna run to somebody else and tell them that they told. I mean, how is that not ratted? Let's commence.
You doing a disservice to the fans because 90 or probably 90% of the people that be on the internet haven't fought a case or been through some of the situations. So you can kind of trick the mind if you just reading straight off paper on what's going on and be like, oh, this is what's said about this and this is what's said about that. And you're not knowing how court proceedings go. If I'm on a case with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 motherfuckers and we all already decided that we're going to plead deals, if I take my deal in June and they take theirs in December, and another nigga take his in January, another nigga take his in February, but we already decided we gonna the shit gonna say the same shit. Don't matter what it was said. We already decided, we taking deals. I'm taking mine right now. All right. Another nigga might be like, well, shit, man, I'm trying to stay down here in the county. My bitch be coming down, busting moves. I'll take my deal in a couple months. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't never been in jail to know that this type of shit goes on. You know what I'm saying? So until you hear a nigga that got a co-defendant saying they telling on them, you can't put them jackets on people.
Nah, that's real.
Because it's like if.
And just like how the billionaire dude was checking Stephen A. Smith, like, bruh, you're not married, you've never been married. Don't really go around wagging your finger and trying to give advice about this marriage life. You haven't been there, bruh, so we don't want to hear from you. And what Geechee is saying, most of y'all dweebs have never been locked up, probably never will be locked up. And this is not to glorify it, but what he's saying is you can't speak to this experience that you've never experienced, that you never lived in or lived through. So many people are just doing this stuff for clicks and clout, and that's extremely dangerous, right? Because you want to call people snitch and rats and play with their livelihood until somebody come up and pull up on you. You know, you're playing with people's livelihood until they play with your life. And then what you gonna say? Oh man, we need to stop killing each other and black on black crime and all this other. It's like, bruh, if you knew there was a tiger in the jungle, you know, and you're gonna antagonize that tiger and then complain that the tiger maimed you, it's like, first of all, why were you in the jungle? That's one. And then two, why were you antagonizing the tiger? And then the tiger did what a wild animal does, and then you want me to feel sorry for you? You went to the safari naked, you know, smelling like bacon and filet mignon steak, yelling and throwing stuff at the tiger and saying, I just can't understand how I got ate. Yeah, bruh. They say it's a dog eat dog world, a cutthroat society. What else are we expecting? It's not to condone it, right? But it is what it is.
If a nigga told on somebody, they got co-defendants, that's who you gonna hear it from. The co-defendant gonna literally say, hey, this nigga told on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna be able to look up a nigga paperwork and be like, hey, he told on you, and no, nigga, I'm gonna tell you he told on me. You can't tell me a nigga told on me because you don't know what we spoke on, how we said it, because the proceedings is gonna say everything that's in court if a nigga says something. So if I'm pleading out in the case, on a case like what they plead out, like a RICO, and you saying, hey, do you agree to everything? Yes. I'm taking my deal. Everything is yes right now. Yes. No contest. Yes. Yeah, I'm guilty. I did it. Yeah. Did we shoot people? Yeah. Yes. Whatever the fuck they say on the paper, yes, we did it. Because I'm taking the deal. That's what the deal consists of, man, to hurry up and get it out the way. That's what's going on. I think sometimes people get so confused with just what people who've never been in them situations. Where I come from, if you ain't even been through them situations, you can't even speak on paperwork. That's just the rules. Yeah. That's just how it's supposed to go, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But the world done got so internety to where people that have your court proceedings and all this shit on and doing all this and doing all that. And then it be niggas who done been through certain situations and they got their own ulterior reasons on why they trying to tear other niggas down or why they trying to spin narratives on niggas and things like that to where they just saying things you don't know why a motherfucker doing it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I just felt like when he did that, that was just kind of corny because you got a big platform. So you got niggas that watch your platform for you as a fan of you that'll look at that and then now they already like, oh damn, is that right? Without even having the chance to do their due diligence, they just go. You might got fans that's just math Hoffa fans that's gonna just listen to what you said and take for what you said. And now they see, bro, that's just what it is to them because they remember when you said that, you know what I'm saying? And you didn't provide.
So yeah, you gotta have creation. If you want to just throw smut on people's name, and hey, I'm a free speech absolutist. I believe it's well within your rights to do that. But freedom of speech does not come with freedom of consequence. I come from an era where you can't just make these unfounded accusations without having to see them in some type of way. Hey, I might have to press you and we might have to talk it out like men, or we might have to shoot the fade, or we might have to shoot something else depending on, you know, how the severity of the accusation or the insult or the claim, you know, because there is defamation of character and many people think that, hey, I may not have the money to call a lawyer, but, you know, they can reach into, you know, they fanny pack or reach into they safe and, you know, take vigilante justice into their own hands. Not condoning or promoting any of that. I'm just saying this is the society that we live in. So I think people should be treading lightly, especially when you're playing with certain inflammatory accusations. And somebody like Math Hoffa, who is a suspected tether because he's of a Caribbean background. Hey, I love my Caribbean people. Some of my best friends are from the Caribbean. But what I'm saying is, if you're from a different lineage outside of foundational Black American freedmen, we love you, we accept you, and we invite you to take part in this empowerment, enrichment journey. However, once you start to undermine our success, then that's what we call tethering, because there's no reason for you to try to tear others down. There's no reason for you to, for him to be this messy. Math Hoffa is supposed to be a street nigga, but he's doing this sassy little host shit. Like, come on, bruh. We got to get it together. But I have been saying street niggas are the new nerds, unfortunately, in 2025. Not all, but a significant amount. Enough to be a problematic amount. This is some kind of sassy, some sassy, messy stuff that you would expect from some random stripper thought, not from some street nigga. Like, what are you doing, Math Hoffa?
Nothing or run through nothing the right way. You know what I'm saying? That, to me, that's just wrong, man. And it's a lot of that on the internet though now, to where it's just like you can just say anything about a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Math Hoffa on the corny blacklist.
Yeah, on the real, for sure though. You know what I mean? Because and then you're gonna have those people who gonna be like, oh well, this and this and that and this and this and that. But to me, like I say, man, like you gotta like. What I do know, the facts that I would know, and it's what I try to tell a motherfucker is, you got to look at certain situations, man. Telling is one thing, but when you walk in them yards, if it's something wrong on your work, you're not gonna walk no yard, no matter who you is, rapper, MC, nigga, celebrity. It ain't no amount of money that's finna keep you, cause niggas on them yards still holding principle. Yeah. So nigga, you're not gonna be able to walk on a yard and have bad paperwork, but be like, but bro, I'm a rapper, I can get y'all, nigga, especially in the feds.
Yeah, you don't gotta like, how people get down and criminal. They're violent thugs and savages. Okay, cool. But what Geechee is saying is there are some principles, there are rules. And now out in society, it seems like it's very unscrupulous and unprincipled. And, it's kind of night and day in the era that we grew up with. A lot of stuff that is normalized now wouldn't be tolerated for a second, a decade, and even a couple decades ago. But now it's just like a folly free-for-all. But let's commence.
Everybody in there for money. It's niggas in there with way more money than the nigga like Surf.
Yeah.
We talking about niggas who in there for real drug indictments, niggas in that motherfucker from money laundering, niggas. Everybody in that bitch, nigga, got bread. Nigga, Big Meats just got out the feds, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
these is motherfuckers who go to the feds, nigga. So your money ain't finna be able to be like, hey, nigga, I'm a rapper. Nigga, a gang of rappers go to that motherfucker. Oh, that's what nigga, if a nigga catch a case and he a rapper and he got something to do with the federal case, that's where he going.
Niggas be going to jail. I got bread. Okay, cool. But you got 2 or 3 people coming at you with a shank. That bread ain't gonna save you. You went. You was best friends with an essay, and then you go in there, y'all can't be best friends no more. No matter how much black and brown besties y'all was, yeah, all of that dies when you go in there. All of that money, when you like, man, I used to have the candy paint, I had this on 6s, I had 4 hoes. Yeah, bro, when you're in there, none of that applies. All the cats that be trying to flex, bro, at any time, they can do a cavity search, bro. A cavity search. That's the ultimate pause. Cats will say something funny, pause. No, they put pause up your booty hole. That's facts. And not only that, a lot of y'all cats is putting paraphernalia up your booty hole. Cats will say pause for some words, but I'm like, bruh, you're literally sticking foreign objects up your booty. And you talking about pause? Come on, bruh. Let's commence.
So your money not gonna be able to speak for you. Your shit gotta be right. And them niggas on that case, obviously, if they walk in them yards too, they saying the same thing. Like, oh no, we play it out. That's how simple it is, and then it's done. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing else to that. But if you ain't been through them stoops to know that, then you will read something and then try to twist it to your liking, and then portray it to the fans and try to fuck up a nigga name. You know what I'm saying? Which I think that's all the way wrong, especially when a nigga locked up. You supposed to do that when a nigga come home then and give a nigga action at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, give a nigga action at you. Like, okay, you see it.
And this is what's hella cowardly about Math Hoffa, right? Like Geechee is saying, wait till bro come home, then have him on your platform and make those accusations to his face. Instead, he's making these unfounded accusations. Man, I don't know. Well, speak on what you know. If you don't know, why are you speculating? Let's commence.
this about me, then all right, then when I see you, then we shouldn't. Ain't no reason to play cool with me because this what you feel about me. You feel I'm one of these. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's the problem with the culture now, to where that shit get to the point where niggas will just say some shit, then it's like I'm doing it for views, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, and if you just doing it for views, then say that, bruh. If you just trolling and all that stuff, say it. It don't make it right. But that makes you sound more like a sassy little messy stock stripper that you doing the same antics and tactics as them. You supposed to be a man standing on business, masculinity. This is masculinity. Some messy little hoe shit. Like, come on, Math Hoffa or Math Hofa? Let's commence.
100% for views. A lot of people doing it. I'm seeing, you name it, from any rapper that come home. Now, anytime they come home, somebody got a headline about them real quick, just so they can, run their view count on their YouTube real quick. They don't really, and then if it come out that it's wrong and the nigga done switched it, it don't matter because that shit is already up. You know what I'm saying? So now it's up there. It's like, okay, nigga done proved the nigga ain't no rat. Boom, it's cool, niggas. But
And
it's
that's
like,
what I
you still
call
got a
you
nigga.
can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. If somebody makes an accusation about you, so-and-so is gay, so-and-so has a disease, so-and-so did this, would touch this person inappropriately. By the time you cleared your name, bruh, the damage is already done. The lie is halfway around the world before the truth gets out of bed. The truth gets out of bed and wants to stretch and maybe have some orange juice, maybe take a piss, maybe read the paper. The lie is already halfway around the world. And the longer you take to challenge the lie, then they're saying, like I said, you're damned if you do. What took you so long? And then if you come out very forceful and fervent about, nah, man, this is a lie. Oh, man, it gotta be true, bro. He way too passionate about that. So sometimes there's some things that you gotta ignore and some things you gotta address head on. But when you're making these very inflammatory accusations, ask people to their face, because you don't try to act like you a man. Don't try to act like you hard and you a thug and you street nigga. But you asking about a man, another man. Like if I want to know anything, if you want to know anything about me, ask me. Don't go to another man asking him about me. That's some whole shit. Let's commence.
Name in 100 blogs saying some bullshit about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like, man, when you got a big platform like that, it's your right to do your due diligence and do it correctly. And you shouldn't even be speaking on them type of situations unless you got some type of background of that and understanding court proceedings and been sitting up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Math Hoffa ever been in jail, been in prison to even be speaking on how to, like, you know what I mean? Like, niggas don't even know how to read work. You know what I mean? Like, the way a civilian read and the way a nigga in prison read paperwork is two totally different ways. That's what people don't understand.
That is true, right? There's a different lens between the civilian looking at the paperwork and somebody who's did time on the yard behind those walls. They're looking for different things, and some people is just trying to crash out, quick to call everybody a snitch or rat. But my whole thing is, even if somebody did snitch or rat, y'all don't care about snitches or rats in this era. So I don't even know why people were attempting to push the issue. I do know why. This is obviously rhetorical. It's for clicks, clout, and content. But bruh, if you really standing on business and you think that, snitches is just a bane to society and toxic, then do something about it. If you ain't gonna do nothing about it, then why are you even mentioning it? Anybody that is bringing up an issue, a problem, without also presenting a solution, that is called whining. Let's commence.
Either, because a nigga that done been through them proceedings is gonna know exactly why certain words is worded a certain way and things of that nature, because they already been in there. They know why. Like, it's a different ball game, so people don't get that. You know what I'm saying? But like for me, I just didn't like that, man. When I seen it, I'm like, damn, man, that's kind of fucked up, knowing that you got such a big platform like that. You know what I'm saying? And you got the right to kind of like talk about anything on your platform. It's your platform, but you chose to kind of do that. Then the way you did it,
and
was
that's
kind
a
of
great point. You have a humongous platform. You can talk about anything, but You can be masculine, but you chose to be masculine. Come on, bruh. Get it together.
Wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh wait, niggas is touch, niggas is, you know what I mean? Like you trying to, yeah, nigga, you feel me? You playing with somebody's name like that, to me, that just ain't cool, you know what I'm saying? And you know, especially somebody like a nigga like Math Hoffa, who, whether you in surf cool or not, y'all was peers at a point in time, you know what I'm saying? So a level of respect should be there just off of the respect of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got enough.
And then if Math Hoffa is doing this little messy hoe shit and he has no respect, then why should Surf or anyone else have any respect for him? Unfortunately, disrespect is the only thing that people respect. So disrespect begets disrespect. Like I said, you know, for instance, in terms of the slurs and racial epithets, all slurs matter. We can't just say only nigga and nigger are the ones that reign supreme. Nah, let's just say all of them. Say all of them or say none of them. You know what I mean? We gotta keep the same energy. So Math Hoffa wants to be messy. Okay, cool. Like then shit, let's all be messy. I'm being facetious with this because, but that's what he should be expecting. But then what will happen is, because Math Hoffa did this again because FBA's was on his bumper, you know what I mean, calling him about his tethering and how he was tap dancing and, kind of buck dancing for Fat Joe. Hey, bro, if you want to disrespect us, we can get disrespectful. But we're much more cunning, clever, and effective with the disrespect. You want to roast? Let's roast. You want to get militant? Hey, bro, we're known for fighting, not fleeing our country. So, Math Hoffa, you have a Caribbean lineage, bro. So you have a lineage where, you fled your homeland with no desires or aspirations to come back. We're not cut from the same cloth. You know what I mean? There's a difference between cotton and leather, bro. But let's commence.
Information to sit there and say that about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Even if somebody threw it on your desk and was like, hey, you check this out. Like, hold on, I don't know this good enough to sit there and put it on my platform. I can read it in my crib and tell you what I feel about it on my own time. But for me to jump on my platform and put a little knife in a nigga back and I don't got enough factual information, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the principles I live on. Like, I'm not gonna get on these cameras and just call a nigga something, man, without no facts on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And I think when you have a platform like that, like, you have a responsibility.
And I think y'all get the gist of the video. So yes, unless you have the full facts, don't speak on it, man. I know a lot of people want the content, they want the clout and clicks, but it's extremely defamatory and extremely dangerous to just go out there and put out these false or unfounded narratives. Now, I'm gonna get into one other story in case y'all didn't hear. Obviously, everyone knows that this country, well, yeah, people know, but they refuse to admit this country is a racist country. Does that mean that every single person is racist? No, but it was founded on racist ideology, principles, and it's embedded in the fabric in all systems of society. Even if it's more overt than it used to be blatant, it's still there. So let me get ready to pull up this other video. But before I do, let's just do some housekeeping. Anyone that came in, like if you come to the house and you stepped in some mud, you would wipe your shoes, right? So if you came from a toxic space, you was in this different sector, you was in the Coonisphere, Sambosphere sector, come over here, hit your boy with a like, hit your boy with a comment, a share. Even if you're trolling, hey, troll lives matter. So before I get into the final story that I'm going to touch, just hit y'all with a little visual so that I could pull up this other video. But also, hey, if you're feeling generous, right, and you liked anything that you heard, feel free to hit your boy on Cash App. Yes, instead of buying that Starbucks Frappuccino, hey, send your boy $5, $10, $20, $200, 2,000, 2 million. Hey, it would all be greatly appreciated. But
Don't you think it's about time you gave me my money?
Want my money? I need cash. Please sign that money. Please sign that money. Please sign that money. Want my money? I need cash. Want my money? I need cash. Want my money?
Okay, so let me get this other video pulled up. So, uno momento.
With me. I got the bag, niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches. With me. I got the bag, niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. I got a bad bitch with me. I got the bag, niggas envy. You got a bunk bitch, huh? I love when the bad bitches hit me. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy. They love when I'm bagging them 50. They love when I'm grabbing that shimmy.
I might pull up on your block, whipping and hit me, gripping and send me. I'm on one cause I've been sipping some Remy. These bitches wanna chew because that pimpin' is in me. It ain't on me and I ain't never been no phony. If I can't get no money with you, then we can't be homies. Ran a few racks, I've had to get it by my lonely. I didn't hit it before, now shorty wanna give me some more like Buster. Damn, that ass shake like jam, that's why I call her Smucker. She just call me daddy every single time I fucked her. Get up in that box and hit it hard, it might rupture. Now she soaking wet and then she wanted me to ass fuck her. After I eat that pussy up just like the last supper. I shown so much love that I don't feel the hate. Yo nigga rap cool but he's still a fake. I came about the mud and start dealing weight. Now I'm invested in stocks and real estate. My bitch gon' ride for me even if the wheels are break. I be killing shit from the wilderness like a wildebeest. If it's a play to make it, I'ma be smashing up quickly. You hit my line then I decline when I'm bagging up 50s. Easy.
Okay, so we are back into it. So now I'm gonna react to it. I got a couple videos. This one I'm gonna start with Rollin Martin. Yes, he is smart, and yes, he is a Democrat shill, known for tap dancing and tiptoeing. But let's get right into the video. Like I said, this is responding to the Young Republicans. This was an organization. They had a private group chat on Telegram. It was leaked, and it was just a bunch of vile, hateful stuff in there. And I'm going to break this stuff down. Let's go.
They say, Mustafa, this is the political piece. At least one person in the Telegram chat works in the Trump administration. Michael Bartles, who, according to his LinkedIn account, serves as a senior advisor in the Office of General Counsel within the U.S. Small Business Administration. Bartles did not have much to say in the chat, but he didn't offer any pushback against the offensive rhetoric in it either. He declined to comment. A notarized affidavit signed by Bartles and obtained by Politico also sheds light on the intra-party rivalry that led the Restore War Room Telegram chat to be made public. Bartles references Wax as well. This is the person. He wrote that he did not give Politico the chat and that Wax demanded in a phone call he provide the full chat log. When I attempted to resist that demand after providing some of the requested information, Wax threatened my professional standing and raised the possibility of potential legal action related to an alleged breach of a non-disclosure agreement. My position within the New York Young Republican Club was directly threatened. But the reality is, when you look at this chat here, now, of course, they apologize. And, you know, this guy Walker, he apologized and all this sort of stuff. And they said all kinds of, they called folks faggot, retarded. Nigger appeared more than 250. So faggot, retarded, and nigger appeared more than 251 times combined. And they talked about some.
So first of all, I'm surprised. See, people always say, oh, nigga is just a word. Nigger is just a word. Why are you getting triggered? But when it comes to the F word, you can't say that. You just can't. Like, huh? You mean maggot with an F or You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but like Roland Martin said, they was calling people faggots. They were saying okay, I'm back, man. I had some technical difficulties. Shout out to Dan and Mark Deasy. Yeah, my bad, bro. I had some technical difficulties, but let me get right back into the video. I appreciate y'all still rocking out. But yeah, technical difficulties, but let's get right back into the video. But y'all get what I'm saying, right?
Indian woman saying, "Oh, she didn't bathe," and look at this.
Okay, so essentially what I was saying was most of the vitriol in this thread was towards blacks, and what they did was they said, hey, they said there were over 200 and why are you combining the slurs? How many times did they say nigga? How many times did they say faggot? How many times did they talk about the Jews? And mind you, there's a slur for Jewish people. It rhymes with spike. It starts with a K. Why y'all didn't call them no slurs? Not to say that, I'm just an advocate for slurs, but hey, all slurs matter. Why should nigga reign supreme? They calling us watermelon people. They were calling us monkeys. But what they tried to do was, oh, there were over 251 slurs combined. So what they want to do is try to make it seem like the hate was equally dispersed. No, y'all said that they called the Latinos a slur. What slur did they call them and how many times? See, but they don't want to say. And then they say one person called black people the N-word over a dozen times. What the hell does that mean? Over a dozen times means 13. It also means 26. It also means 200. You know what I mean? Imagine so-and-so got raped over a dozen times. How many times did they get sexually assaulted? Was it 15 times or 20 times? If y'all know the exact number, why are y'all not saying that? So what they tried to do this sleight of hand where they talked up the anti-black hate, but also talked it down at the same time to make it seem like, yeah, they just hated everybody. Yeah, they did hate everybody, and they hated one group more. And this is how it always is. We deal with the most hate and vitriol, but what happens is they look at the numbers and say, who are the most hate crimes committed against? That will be black people. And then they say, you know what we're going to do to rectify that? We're going to do something for trans people and illegal immigrants because all lives matter. But you were talking about the hate that specifically black Americans were experiencing. So how the hell does helping illegal immigrants help that? But you're just supposed to go along with that. But let's get back into the video. This is me exposing the MAGA Maniacs, anti-black acolytes. Let's get back into it. This is a video of Rollin Martin, and even Rollin Martin is, you know, a Democrat shield. So he's always looking through things through that partisan party lens versus the B1 black lens. Let's commence.
In a separate conversation, Giunta shared that his flight to Charleston, South Carolina landed safely. Then he offered some advice for his fellow young Republicans. Quote, if your pilot is a she and she looks 10 shades darker than someone from Sicily, just end it there. Scream the no word. Really? That's who they are. That's who they are. And these are the people. Look at this here. This is the guy, Bobby Walker. This is this guy, Giunta. Look, the young Republicans, these are the people. Just so everybody said, these are the faces of the future Republican leaders of tomorrow.
Ripping away Medicaid to cut taxes for the rich is like the essence of political corruption in Washington right now. But
you know, nobody is born racist, right? You have to be taught to be racist. There are a number of psychological analyses out there that
Okay, so these are the people, and then mind you, it's called Young Republicans, and the people are average 18 age to 40 years old. So glad to know that 40 is still considered young, but you know, age is a privilege denied to most, and you're only as old as you feel. But look at these people, right? Many of these people wouldn't even, when they family immigrated here, many of them weren't even classified as white. But you know what they did? They licked the boots, they groveled. And see, these people are not just butt kissers, they're crack lickers. You feel me? It's one thing to be kissing booty. It's something entirely to be licking the crack. So these type of people, they lick the crack of white supremacy. They don't just, you know, they lick up and down and all around. These are the people, right? And I know people, well, it's just a word. Okay, cool. It's just a word, but many of these people are in prominent positions. It's just a word used by a doctor. It's just a word used by a lawyer. Does anybody want their doctor calling them nigger in private group chats? Does anybody want their firemen calling them nigger, and then you got to call them to come and save you from a burning building and say, hey, I know it was just a word. Come on, bruh. Like, let's get real. But let's play a little bit more, and then I'm going to switch to the panel.
actually walk us through that. These are the sins, right? These are the sins of their grandfathers and great-grandfathers and fathers and mothers that have now infiltrated these young people. So they've learned this behavior. So if folks actually want any type of change to happen, it's not about ignoring this, right? This is now being ingrained into the next generation of their party, or at least a part of the party. So they have to take responsibility for this, but there is also responsibility when you're a young person and you're growing up, you have.
So this is why Rollin and his ilk are part of the Democrat shield. Both parties are the same. The Democrats are just as racist as, in fact, the Democrats are even more racist than the Republicans, because it's just like Malcolm X's wolf and fox analogy. When you see the wolf, you see the wolf with those yellowy eyes, the large stature and the fangs showing. You already know it's a wolf. You're gonna steer clear of it, or you're on your guard, prepared to battle the wolf. When it comes to the Democrats, being the fox, is cute and cuddly, has soft silky fur. Cool, you let the fox in, you let the fox get close to you, and then when you turn around to brush your teeth, the fox mauls you. But see, the wolf, you would have never let that wolf get close to you like that. But the fox, because it's so cute and cuddly, you let the fox get close enough to destroy, decimate, and obliterate you. We are done with that. At least the people that are from the actual grassroots, the B1. Roland Martin, he gets his bread buttered from the Democrats, just like Officer Fakem, Jesse Lee Peterson. They get their money from the right wing white people. So all it is just, unfortunately, many of the black pundits just tap dance for the party. There's tap dancers for the Democrat, tap dancers for the Republican. Me, I don't tap dance, but what I do is uplift, empower, and enrich my people because I am B1, black first. Now, that don't mean black only. I'm a humanitarian. I love everybody, but we can't say this group is at the bottom, but you want me to focus on another group. If we're at the bottom and we're doing so bad, right? We're so stupid, we're so violent, and our culture is so toxic. Why the hell would I be focused on illegal immigrants? Why the hell would I be focused on Gaza? Why the hell would I be focused on any issue primarily? Now, they say you can walk and chew gum. Well, if you can walk and chew gum, why are you not talking about Gaza and what foundational black Americans need to get tangibly? Why are you not talking about, rectifying the border cross and giving tangibles to us? If you saying that you only got the emotional and intellectual bandwidth to handle one issue at a time, then fine. You know what season it is? 'Tis the season. Hold your own nuts. Hold your own nuts. Hold your own accomplishments. Hold your own filth. Hold your own lineage. Hey, that's all it is. Y'all fight for y'all issues that is your pet peeve issue, or that's nearest and dearest to your heart, and that's what we gonna do, right? All we're doing is just keeping the same energy. Y'all know my acronym, CESL, SESL. Same energy, same logic. Keep the same energy, apply the same logic. We just giving y'all the same energy that y'all gave to us. We just using the same logic as y'all use with us. Y'all put y'all community first, and y'all actually try to step on and step over our community. We're not stepping on y'all and we're not stepping over y'all, but we are putting our community first. And unfortunately, many are salty because they're used to us being this kind of docile, buck broken doormat that anyone could just come in and dump their trash and wipe their feet on. You step in dog poo and then you go to the black doormat and wipe it off. Those days are over. But we got a couple people in the building. Hopefully, y'all have hit your boy with the like, but just in case, a friendly reminder.
Time for a like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed.
Okay, we are back at it. So now I'm going to react to a video from a channel called Couch Politics. Now, this person, I do like his content, but I don't like the partisan Democratic shillery involved with it. So he is just like a Latino version of Roland Martin. But let's get into the video. This is keeping on with the young Republicans, anti-black, MAGA maniacs. This is a panel where they're talking about the racism that was spewed and espoused in this private chat. Let's get into it.
I can tell you when I'm around white people, they test the racist water. They
joked about slavery, gas chambers.
Somebody who thinks I'm the N-word. You don't know somebody thinks you're a watermelon person or that you should be raped to the point of suicide. What are we doing?
Well, they're. Hello, everybody. Guys, I don't know how it happened, but we got a MAGA pirate on the set, One Eye Willie. In all seriousness, I hope this topic sticks in the news cycle. It's pivotal we get to the bottom of what we all know and see here. Let's get into this segment and we'll talk about it.
Welcome back. The vice president is doubling down on his defense of the young Republicans involved in a leaked chat that used hundreds of slurs and joked about slavery, gas chambers, and rape. On social media, J.D. Vance says that he refused to join the pearl-clutching and played whataboutism with Democrats. But after a night to sleep on it, this is how he described the Republican operatives, at least one of whom is an actual elected official.
Grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. The reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell.
You see this? He's starting out already saying, boys will be boys. Kids do stupid stuff. Bruh, some of those people in that chat were 30 years old, 40 years old. Since when has that been a kid? They always try to demonize black people and adultify the kids and try to say, well, that ain't no damn kid. He was 16. But now when you got 40-year-olds in this chat saying racist stuff, it's like, well, boys just will be boys and they were kids. And then he's saying it's not that serious. Well, some of them were elected officials. That is serious when you got state senators part of a chat calling people niggers. But let's commence.
Edgy, offensive jokes, like that's what kids do. And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid.
Here we go again. They were just telling edgy, offensive jokes. What the hell is an edgy, offensive joke? There's nothing edgy about calling someone a nigger and a watermelon person. What is edgy about that? And if it was a joke, then they didn't say that they were joking. Just because you say a slur and laugh, that doesn't mean that you're joking. That means that you're laughing because you have dehumanized this particular group and you're laughing at their demise. So this whole, oh, they were just innocent people cracking edgy jokes. No, bruh, miss me with that.
Telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say enough of this BS.
So here it is when it's racist, something is racist, they don't want to call it that. They'll call it stupid. They'll call it offensive. They'll call it everything but what it is. Racist and anti-black racist, to be specific. This is very cowardly commentary, especially by J.D. Vance, the, heroin-laced hillbilly. But let's commence.
You see how he keeps saying kids, 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 little boys, when the age range is 18 to 40. Incredible.
Now, keep in mind, the texters referred to black people as monkeys and watermelon people. They fantasized about raping enemies and driving them to suicide. They supported slavery and sending political opponents to gas chambers to, quote, watch people burn now. Now, here is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at CNN's town hall tonight talking about Republicans and the influence that they have on social media.
They have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe. That women are inferior, that they do not deserve equal rights, that they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman, that they believe and are circulating disgusting racial and white supremacist messaging that they are able to get away with digitally and online.
Joining us at the table is Camille Foster. He's the editor-at-large at Tangle. Camille, what do you make of what she said there and how it relates to this conversation about the liberty and the freedom with which these...
So you got to take everything with a grain of salt when you're looking at these black and or melanated faces on CNN. And see, before we weren't doing paperwork and lineage checks. So if you look at Abby Phillips, who she is a fine sister, but she's a sellout. You have to be a sellout to get on this show. Abby Phillips has some sort of Caribbean background. And this dude, I'm not sure what his lineage is, but I won't be surprised if he has some sort of immigrant background. Now, I know people will, well, that shouldn't matter. Well, it does matter when people are speaking for a specific lineage. If you think that it doesn't matter, go ask someone that's a Seminole or a Cherokee or a Choctaw and ask them, hey, do you speak for the Navajo tribe? Do you speak for the Apache tribe? Go to an Asian person who's Korean and say, hey, could a Filipino person speak for your culture? Go to a Japanese person and ask them, could a Chinese person speak for their culture? But as a foundational Black American, we're supposed to just let Caribbeans speak for our culture. Someone from Chad, Sudan, Senegal. Nah, man, those days are over of us being just one big global Negro where we don't question any type of authority or ancestry. So I'm just prefacing with that because I could already tell that this dude is gonna be on this kind of Van Jones, Van Lathan, corporate shillery babble. Let's commence.
Guys thought that they could spew this kind of stuff without any kind of consequences.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Abby, first and foremost. I have a lot of issues with the conversation around this particular story. I would tend to agree the comments in the thread ought to be condemned universally. But this is like kind of what you would expect, this kind of idiot, LARPing, edgelord nonsense inside of a private group chat. I think the word.
What the hell is he talking about? Edgelord nonsense? No, that was some racist anti-Black vitriol. And this is why this dude is on here, to give this kind of sanitized, square, little sassy response. Nah, bruh, call it what it was. Let me rewind it back, man. This dude is sounding like a little pathetic loser.
This particular story, I would tend to agree the comments in the thread ought to be condemned universally. But this is like kind of what you would expect, this kind of idiot, LARPing, edgelord.
So you would expect for some alleged young white guys to be calling people nigger all throughout a private chat? I don't have private chat with a bunch of my boys, Big Rig, John, Spit, man, and then we're just yelling racial slurs about multiple groups. I don't do that. So you wouldn't expect that from my group. You won't expect that from my lineage. But he's saying that we should expect to be called nigger in private. Now you see why this goofball is on the panel?
Nonsense inside of a private group chat. I think the words you used a moment ago, that they think they could say this sort of thing risk-free, consequence-free. Well, they were saying it in private. And I'm sure they were saying different things in public. Do they mean these things authentically? In some cases, they almost certainly do. There has been a resurgence of white nationalist sentiment in this country. I think it's interesting.
What the hell is he talking about? In some cases, they do. So what are the cases that they don't believe this stuff? He's trying to go into this pseudo-psychological prattle where he thinks that he's analyzing them. Oh, well, maybe they don't mean it, and sometimes they do mean it. How does he know? He's not a white dude, part of the Young Republicans.
To try to trace this back and to think honestly about how we got to here. And I do think that a lot of the renewed interest in...
Man, it's going to be hard to get through this, dude. How did we get here? This country was found on racism, genocide, anti-Black bigotry, and white supremacy. What the flip do you mean, how did we get here? You imbecile.
Race and identity things for both noble purposes and otherwise has actually helped to create the circumstances that we see now. That is not erasing any of the responsibility that people have for embracing and endorsing these kinds of sentiments, even in private group chats where they're doing this kind of idiotic locker room talk. They deserve to face consequences.
Seriously, what the hell is this dude talking about? He went from calling it this edgelord stuff to now it's idiotic locker room talk. I didn't talk like this in the locker room. When you played sports, football, track, were you in there calling people niggers because you were in the locker room? Come on, man. See, this is that brain dead, buck broken babble, and that's why this stooge is on there. I'm gonna play it back just so y'all can hear how idiotic this dude sounds. See, this is soft, docile, weak, and I don't want this dude around any type of empowerment movement. We already know he's already bent the knee, licked the boots, and licked the crack. Mm, mm, mm. Let's commence.
To think honestly about how we got to here. And I do think that a lot of the renewed interest in race and identity things for both noble purposes and otherwise has actually helped to create the circumstances that we see now. That is not erasing any of the responsibility that people have for embracing and endorsing these kinds of sentiments, even in private group chats where they're doing this kind of idiotic locker room talk. They deserve to face consequences. But I do think that J.D. Vance's comments about this are worth actually focusing in on for a moment. This has shades of that whole eating the cats, eating the dogs nonsense from during the campaign cycle.
I mean, he would know all about that.
He is a capable spokesperson for this administration, and I mean that as both a compliment and a dig, in the sense that he seems willing to go out and defend just about anything. It's weird, the places where they decide to draw the lines. I'm not sure why they decide to draw it here. I do think the hypocrisy he's underscoring, though, is real
I know why,
as well.
Because
You're not sure? It's weird? It's purposeful what's going on here. What planet?
Yeah, this dude bro thought he cooked. You know what I gotta give this dude? Man, I gotta hit this dude.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Bro, please shut up. I do not want to hear from this dude. This dude just sounds super moist and man, let's get back into it.
Am I on? This dude right here just said some bullshit in a very slick way. He's essentially doing this both sides crap. Is that Anna Kasparian in a costume? What the F are we talking about here? Because Democrats, he's saying, push for things like DEI and equal treatment for all, which make conservatives very upset. It helped create these races. And you should expect this kind of stuff. It was supposed to be...
Yeah, that is a narrative where you do have to expect this stuff because they're only responding to them being oppressed by DEI and all this stuff. How are they oppressed when most of the DEI went to white women and non-black people? So, and then let's just say, if this is how they lash out when they feel oppressed, how should black people lash out then?
Private messages, come on. That's just amazing. Do you really think these people weren't bigots before the DEI and whatever woke stuff you're talking about? Does he really believe that? F no. It's this attempt to always play both sides. So you get invited to all the shows or so. I don't know why. Come on now. It's the same thing that Charlie Kirk said before. I was never like this, but you guys made me question a black pilot flying a plane. I was never a racist until you made me one because of all this DEI and woke stuff. This is literally the argument Charlie Kirk would make. This is about an effing pattern. It's very simple. This is not so complicated philosophical thing going on here. It's a pattern within the Republican Party and welcoming this kind of behavior. Ever since Trump came down those damn escalators, the racism and bigotry in this country has been steadily increasing.
You see how he keeps talking about the Republicans when both parties are the same. The Republicans are just the type to say nigger, and then the Democrats won't say that, but then they'll agree with the Republicans calling you a nigger. So it's just two wings on the same bird, two fangs on the same viper, two cheeks on the same booty. Let's commence.
We all know this. We all effing know this. This is who their voters are. At their core, who these people are. It's no surprise Trump won these people's hearts. Cut the both sides bullshit.
I've seen the places where these comments have been defended. And I think J.D. Vance is looking down the line at 2028, and he's looking at who he's calling kids right now.
I mean, this black dude kind of defended it. He act like he cooked or ate with that, but all he did was just did some tap dance and tiptoeing tether babble.
Now are going to be the Republican operatives and the sort of the future of the Republican Party, and I think he's lining himself up. But you make an important point. The comments in the group chat are terrible and stupid, but I find it way more interesting that J.D. Vance has chosen to defend it than these guys that nobody knows or cares about. Why did he choose that this is suddenly the sort of thing that he chalks up to a youthful indiscretion when some of the people in this chat were like a year or two younger than him? He's 41.
We know why.
Hard to say. I have to ask him. I'll tell you who did not defend it. I mean, the head of Young Republicans.
Right.
They exiled these folks right away. We took swift action, and I appreciate that accountability. I'm not going to defend it. I didn't even read some of these tweets, but I've heard they're bad, and I believe it. I bet a lot of these guys were the same people who troll me online for the most part. So I guarantee it's a lot of the same folks. On the other hand, why you're seeing some Republicans shrug their shoulders, I mean, I'll tell you why. Here's what they would here's their sentiment. We just watched Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck. You know, we watched our president, while he was campaigning, almost get killed. A bullet whizzed by his head. So there's real violence, and then there's this disgusting, despicable stuff that is said in private. And
Disgusting, despicable, but he won't call it racist. And now here goes the conflation. These are the party of personal responsibility. Bro, we're talking about y'all going around calling people watermelon people and niggers and saying that you want to rape people and bring back slavery. That has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk.
like, it is disgusting, despicable. You're not going to see me try and defend it. But I'll give you that perspective.
He said he's not going to try to defend it, but he is trying to obfuscate, which is a form of defending it. All you need to say, he's trying to call it disgusting. No, call it what it is. It's racist. And let's see if he's going to continuously attack what they did or say, but the Democrats did this. Let's see.
From some people who might feel that way.
Ashley?
F that perspective, One Eye Willie. Like, this is about, and I'm going to keep saying this word, a pattern amongst Republicans. Pattern. This is the key word here.
Look, I think what happened to Charlie Kirk was awful. I said it. I think an assassination attempt on anybody, including the then candidate, Trump, and now president. It's awful. I also think that there's a...
What the hell does a private chat where they're calling black people niggers, watermelon people, and monkeys, what the hell does that have to do with Charlie Kirk? I don't even think Charlie Kirk was mentioned in this chat, but they're trying to conflate it and say, well, Charlie Kirk was killed and these people just called people the N-word. Okay, why are you even bringing these two up? Like, to conflate it. Charlie Kirk was killed in a heinous, barbarous act of white on white crime. That's not the same of white on white people calling a bunch of racial slurs and epithets, and the predominant one being calling people nigger. Like, come on, bruh. It's not the same.
different conversation, right? So...
And actually, they're alluding to the point that they're not the same, but they're just saying, oh, well, some people lost their life in this one, and then boys just will be boys. You know, it's just a word. Okay, cool. Then if all slurs matter, then, it should be a free-for-all for slurs.
I don't take any comfort that this is done in private, because if you say the N-word in private, you think it in public. And that means that at some point in my life, I may be sitting across.
That is true. If you're calling me the N-word in private, then that means you think and you believe it in public. So if you're calling me the N-word and you're a doctor, you're a cop, you're a banker, a loan officer, that does have real life implications. So to all the people, well, it's just a word. It's a lot more than that.
Somebody who thinks I'm the N-word. And so that person may be the person who has to give me a job one day, or is a police officer that pulls me over one day, despite being articulate. Or he knows what I'm talking about.
Is that an inside joke?
It is inside. It's between me and the brother.
You gotta watch the show to know
You gotta
what you're
watch
talking about.
Table
Anyway,
of
go
Five
ahead.
last time we were on together.
Right.
But that's what I mean, and that was what it manifests. It means that could be somebody's teacher one day, or it means that could be somebody's congressperson one day. And what am I supposed to think as a Black American, as a person who could be called the N-word, if now, I think it's great that the young Republicans push folks out. And I also think it's important on the left when we say, or not we, because I don't do that, but when people say,
You know what? And shout out to the grassroots B1 FBA specifically, because this lady who is really an op, but she is really on that people of color hype. So I don't know. I'm surprised she even said that she's a Black American, because she's usually on the POC hype. But let's commence.
terrible things, that those things be condemned. And that's what I was saying earlier, is like, we got to call balls and strikes.
Yeah.
But there's something bigger than it's just being private. These people live their lives publicly every day. And if you walk through your life and you don't know somebody thinks you're a watermelon person, or that you should be raped to the point of suicide, what are we doing?
Well, there are people saying things like this in public, and some of these people are conservative adjacent, or they would perhaps just describe themselves as conservatives, like Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes is a guy who has been on a number of prominent podcasts in recent weeks, who just today announced that he's got some major announcement and will be sitting down with some other conservative figure. Conservatives have to know that this is taking place in the ether right now.
I mean, I'm like
and speaking out about this.
I'm like on the front lines of that battle. I think you probably
I think,
know.
No, Congressman, I know you. I'm not directing this at you in particular. I'm just saying that we
Once again, what the hell is this nigga talking about? Hold on, I gotta hit him with this. Get the fuck out of here, little nigga. Bro, get the flip out of here. Get the fuck out of here, little nigga. Of course, conservatives know what these people are on and been on. They condone it. It was a private chat. It wasn't supposed to be leaked. Of course, they've been on this stuff. Only dudes like this is acting confused. See, this is what happens when you do all that samboing and crack licking. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees.
Would you say, I mean, I have often argued that, you know, this is not about canceling people, but just creating the boundaries of your movement. I mean, would you say that Republicans need to establish...
Well, of course you're right.
Just as Democrats...
We don't care about your book, bro. Consequences is not canceling. And then when people say so-and-so canceled me, okay, who canceled you? Because see, this is where they kind of tell on themselves. They say blacks have no power. We have low IQ. You know, we can't do anything. Okay, fine. So when you say that someone is canceling you, it's definitely not the low IQ thuggish black. So who actually is it? Oh, it's someone that looks like you, someone with your same complexion. And instead of pointing the fingers and blaming them, holding them accountable like they're holding you accountable, you blame cancel culture. No, it's called personal responsibility.
I'm not excluding Democrats from this, but just as Democrats.
You have freedom of association. Like, if you say a bunch of nasty things and you're part of my organization, I have every right to kick you out.
But you're right. We should. This is disgusting and vile, and we should establish that there is a boundary line that is not here, that is in front of it. And Ashley's right. It doesn't matter if it's.
They love to say every word but racist. It's disgusting. It's vile, detestable, deplorable. But they want to say they want to say a different R word, but the word that they refuse to say is racist and white supremacy. But that's what it was. These were a bunch of young Republicans, young whippersnapper white supremacists, and some OG white supremacists. And they were just in there espousing the hate that they typically do. This would just be another day in the park. The only thing is, it was leaked. And why did they leak it for public consumption so that we can just fully read it? Instead, they leaked it piecemeal. Here's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And like I told you earlier, they said there were 251 slurs combined. So you know exactly how many slurs were said because you broke it down numerically. How many times did they say the N word? How many times did they say the F word? How many times did they say all the other slurs? Instead, they just said over 251 slurs combined. So you can say, oh, they said something about me too. Yeah, they called me nigger hundreds of times and they called you wetback 2 times. Like, how is that the same? This is how they kind of reel black people in. We faced most of the disdain, most of the vitriol, catch all of the bullets, all of the smoke, and then when they give some sort of restorative justice, guess who's not going to get anything out of it? They're going to say, you know what, black people, you guys were treated like crap, and we recognize that. And in order for us to rectify that, we're going to give some money to illegal immigrants. You've got to be kidding me. Let's commence.
Public or private. If you say it privately, you think it publicly. That's exactly right.
It became public.
And I live in Virginia. I'm working on the Attorney General's race right now. And the Democratic nominee for Attorney General sent text messages wishing the Republican speaker would get 2 bullets to the head. He said he hoped that his wife would see their babies die in his arms.
Unacceptable.
Toddlers that he knew. But yet, Abby Spanberger, the nominee for governor, will not ask him to withdraw from the race. Yeah. She will not withdraw her endorsement.
Here he goes again with the partisan politics. Well, the Democrats did this. You know how it was if you grew up with siblings, right? Your sibling was cutting up and you was cutting up. When your mama pulled out that, the twig off the tree, the belt, that Jesus sandal that she wanted to whoop you with, right? When she was whooping you for what you did, and you were like, yeah, but my brother did this and my sister did this, once you snitched on your sister, that didn't make the beating any less for you. I don't know nobody's mom that was like, okay, since you snitched on your brother, now I'm gonna stop whooping you. No, bruh. You gotta hold that, you feel me? But instead of saying, look, man, what this group did was racist, and we need to reflect, we need to we need to change course. Instead, he's saying, well, look what the Democrats did. Like, come on, bruh. How is this for personal responsibility? And this is for the people that say black community has accountability issue. Okay, show me one video, because 88% of white people are killed by other white people. Show me the video of a white person talking about white on white crime, but you can find plenty of black people talking about black on black crime. Show me the video of Jewish people talking about Jewish on Jewish crime. Find me a video of Asian people talking about Asian on Asian crime, but you have black people doing it. And then not only do we hold ourselves accountable more than any other race, that we're held accountable by the system. Don't take my word for it, look it up. On average, we get 20% more time for the same crime. Also, we are denied probation at about 25% the rate of our white counterparts. So society is holding us accountable. If somebody is not taking care of their body, nature holds them accountable. So if we're having the worst health outcomes, how is that not accountability? If we're locked up disproportionately, how is that not accountability? You got Sambos, Charleston White, Jesse Lee Peterson, Candace Owens, Hodge twins talking about black people ain't shit and they need to do this. I mean, a lot of them are lies and misinformation, but that's accountability. Where is the juxtaposition for these other communities? These other communities don't hold themselves accountable. And you hear him right now, he's blaming the Democrats. He's not blaming other white people. He's blaming Democrats. Charlie Kirk, unalived by another white man, and instead of calling him a white deranged person, they said he was a radical leftist Democrat who had a trans boyfriend. Okay. What race was he? See, when somebody in Chicago, some random thuggish fool, does a drive-by, the whole black community has to answer for it. But when there's some white deranged person that goes in and does a mass deletion, it's like, oh, well, he was just sick and, he was hungry. he didn't he had some spoiled milk in his Fruit Loops, and that's why he went on this one. And he had some doodoo stains, and somebody doxed him, and that's why he went on a mass deletion spree. Like, people will come up with all of these elaborate plots to not have them take accountability, but meanwhile, the Black community has an accountability problem. No, we don't. We're held accountable more than anyone, and we hold ourselves accountable more than anyone. Otherwise, prove me wrong. I just need one video. All you got to do is find one video of some whites talking about white on white crime and what they need to do to rectify it. One video. There was a Jewish person, a pedo, that was doing pedo stuff here and got extradited to Israel to just live out his life and sip pina coladas. Show me one video of Jewish people calling out the pedo crimes. Don't worry, I'll wait.
That's a
Can I
line
just
we
make
should
one
draw
interesting
too.
note about that? He went
Again with the J. Jones. Like, this is what I mean, that they share one brain. Republicans all share one brain. It's very telling when you need to dig up something from 2 years ago. Like, it's disgusting, and no one should say something like that, what J. Jones says. But again, the pattern. When Trump says Mexicans are sending rapists and murderers, and Haitians are eating cats and dogs, Kamala isn't black. Illegal immigrant jobs are actually black jobs. Calling people DEI hire.
So Kamala is what we call her. She isn't black, or she ain't black, like we like to call her. But, I won't go down that rabbit hole. And then when Trump said they are taking black jobs, they are taking black jobs, not because these jobs are just inherently for black people, but what happens is when they bring over an influx of illegal immigration, it stagnates the wages, it undercuts the workforce, and who's going to feel the brunt of it the most? Black people. All of those jobs, when they say they're doing the jobs that no one wants to do, like, okay, who were doing the jobs before they came here? Literally, somebody was. There's no industry where illegal immigrants are the predominant workforce. There's workforces where they're disproportionately represented, but that's only because of the big wigs at the corporations want to, pay indentured servant wages. So if they think, oh, blacks won't do construction, we were the ones who were doing all the construction of the company. You think that suddenly we were just like, we're not going to do that? You go to these construction crews, they won't even hire blacks. They won't. So you can't say that, oh, you're lazy, you don't want to do the work. I show up and you don't want to hire me because you have a team of illegal immigrants that you can hire and pay under the table and further exploit them. Just say that that's what you want to do. Don't try to act like we won't work those jobs, because when I grew up, when you look at like McDonald's, the fast food restaurants, it was mostly black people working in those jobs, retail and stuff. Now, and there were many younger black people as well. Like, I knew a lot of high school girls and guys that worked at those jobs. Now they got grown men, illegal immigrants, many of them who can't speak English. And then it's like, oh, well, so what? America doesn't have an official language. You can't discriminate on them just because they don't know English. Okay, fine, that's okay. But then they turn around and then they discriminate on you because you don't know Spanish or Mandarin. Anything that says you must be bilingual, then that's already discriminating right there. And even if you are bilingual, if it's a bilingual black person and a bilingual Hispanic, and the whole company is run by Hispanics, who do you think they're going to hire? And then even if they do hire a black, it's going to be a token person where you're the only one speaking English and they laughing and saying all sorts of stuff in Spanish. And then they get on the Bad Bunny stuff. Well, if you don't like it, learn Spanish. Well, I mean, if y'all don't like it, learn English, right? Can I say the same thing? So if I tell them, hey, stop speaking this language, learn English, that's considered xenophobic. But if they discriminate on me because I don't know Spanish, then it's just like, step your game up.
Removing slavery exhibits from museums. You don't think this is on purpose? and specifically speaking to conservatives and Republicans, and it is a pattern. You think this is an accident, a one-off like the Jay Jones thing? When Mamdani came into the scene, all these Republicans, what was the first thing that they said? 9/11 would happen. Terrorist this, jihad that. Tucker Carlson, what did he say a while back? Immigrants are dirtying the nation. That's one of the biggest right-wing pundits. How about Charlie the dead racist Kirk? And all the beautiful things he said about black and brown people. Along with Ben Shapiro saying things like Israelis like to build, Arabs like to bomb crap and live in sewage. Who also said racism has nothing to do with black people being poor. You still think that, Benny? Squeakers? You don't think these people grow up to be managers, supervisors, politicians? Diablo. How about Laura Loomer, guys, calling black women DI Shaniquas? Very good. Should we keep going? She tried walking that back and saying it wasn't racist. Go up to a black woman and call her that. See what happens. If you can even speak after it. How about, and guys, let's not forget the famous Jews will not replace us chant and march. And Trump said those were good people on both sides. How can we forget the Nazi salute by Elon Musk that literally every single Republican and pundit made excuses, saying, no, that's not what he was doing. He was spreading love.
Yeah, and I gotta call out some of the woke white right. How are y'all letting somebody like Elon Musk and South African apartheid immigrant tether on to this white Anglo history and ancestry that he had nothing to do with? He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and then many people are bowing down to him. A lot of y'all like Nick Fuentes, who is a white, fruity, down low gay Mexican dude, white supremacist. The dude is just like a little scrawny pipsqueak. Like, is this your king? Man, there is a crisis. I know people were mad at Don Lemon because he was saying, white men, are you okay? Many of y'all are in crisis. See, when people say black men, are y'all okay? And y'all in crisis, bunch of people co-sign it and say, yeah, but when we say, nah, white men, are y'all okay? It was a white man, multiple white men who tried to assassinate Trump. Wasn't a brother, wasn't no nigga from Chicago or Oakland. It was a white man who shot Charlie Kirk. It was a white trans person and a white other person who has been shooting up these schools. But guess what they're still talking about? George Floyd, BLM, and what about Chicago? You've got to be kidding me. Let's commence. And we've been joined by the 504 boy, Woody Braxton in the building.
Diablo, yeah, of course not. How about Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson constantly pushing white replacement theory?
And also shout out Marky B-Eazy and building what it Easy. Make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe, because I'm gonna be coming with some of the most fire content the internet has ever seen.
Need to keep going on.
Because we may be in 2 or 3 years coming back to this conversation, because when he made those comments, he was a state legislator, and now he's running for a higher office. There were elected officials in this group chat, and I want to know 2-3 years from now whether you also want them to step aside from their roles, because we might be in this very position. Can I play one quick thing? I want to play a little bit more of J.D. Vance. This is what J.D. Vance was saying about, he thinks that the real story is who leaked this and ruining the lives of these young people.
Sorry.
I'm 41 years old. I have 3 kids. I grew up in a different world, right? Where not most of the stupid things that I did when I was a teenager and a young adult, they're not on the internet. Like, I'm going to tell my kids, especially my boys, don't put things on the internet. Like, be careful with what you post. If you put something in
Okay, he's saying don't put it on the internet. He's not saying don't say nigger. It's just don't put it on the internet. And this is where somebody should have asked him, okay, Have you ever said that word, and how many times? We know he said the word, so I just would have asked him straight out. How many times have you said that word when you were a young man? And all his advice to his kids is don't put it on the internet, right? You know, you can have one of those Kim Kardashian Ray J tapes, but just don't put it on the internet. Okay.
Group chat, assume that some scumbag is going to leak it in an effort to try to cause you harm or cause your family harm.
So he calls the people who leak the video of you calling people nigger, he calls them a scumbag. So if you leak the video of somebody saying nigger, you're the scumbag, but not the person calling people watermelon people. Okay.
Okay. J.D. Vance is married to a brown woman. He has mixed race children, and that is his response to this horrible racism. It's beyond locker room talk. I'm a white woman that has lived in a red state my entire life, and I can tell you when I'm around white people, they test the racist water. They test it on people like you all.
She's a white woman? Would have never guessed.
All the time. And they'll try to say off-color things. I put my hand up. It absolutely happens, and you're fortunate that maybe you haven't
I'm a different
experienced
generation.
Can I just say, literally this August?
Dude, nobody wants to hear from this little buck-broken weasel over here. I don't know why he was twisting his face up, making a bitter beer face. What is there to contest? She says she's a white woman, grew up in a lily white town in a ruby red state. Let her cook. She's saying that she heard this stuff all the time. They try to push the boundaries. As a black dude, there's nothing for you to chime in. Let her cook. Let her spill the beans and the tea. But this is how it is because he is such a tap dancing, tiptoeing Sambo. He has to come in with the cape to try to save a mythical white supremacist zaddy that didn't even ask him for saving. Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them.
A white person said the N-word in front of me.
And the vice president of the United States, these
were not horrible. Kids. These were grown men.
Some of them are 40 years old.
If they
and some of them are
committed
women.
a crime, they would be prosecuted as adults. They were not children.
Well, look, I mean,
they're not stupid kids.
It's not kids.
They're
not
adults.
kids.
A couple, they're not
their
kids, and a couple.
And guys, and no, it's not all white people. I've seen comments in some of my videos saying, well, I'm white. Are you saying I'm like this as well? No, you moron. If you never spew hateful.
And see, that's a deflection. And that's why people hate Tariq. But Tariq specifically calls out white supremacy, the ideology and the system. And they say, well, why are you talking about white people? No, I talked about white supremacists. So if you're not upholding and capitulating and kowtowing to the system, then I'm not talking about you. But many people know that they benefit from it. So when you talk about it, then they automatically start projecting and say, hey, you're talking about me, or you blaming everything on the man or the white man. No, I'm blaming things on white supremacy. And it's not even about blaming everything. It's about assigning the appropriate blame, right? So let's say, oh man, blacks blame whites for everything. No, whites are not the cause for everything, but they are the cause for a lot of things. So if I could talk about the things that we can do to rectify the self-inflicted damage, okay, I've laid that out. Then I do got to lay out the external forces that you guys are doing, right? It's like, well, no one told y'all to sell crack. Okay, cool, right? We will hold ourselves accountable for that. Will you hold yourselves accountable for planting the drugs there, for planting the guns there? Well, fatherless homes. Okay, fatherless homes didn't make y'all start COINTELPRO. Fatherless homes didn't make y'all assassinate Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton didn't have a fatherless home. Fred Hampton didn't have babies out of wedlock. Why'd he get killed? Remember they were saying, oh man, black families were together during Jim Crow. They were together during Jim Crow, married at a higher rate than white people. And guess what that got them? Lynched. red line, debt peonage, sharecropping, on and on and on, mass incarcerated. And that doesn't even make sense. Man, we treating y'all like subhumans. We calling y'all niggers only because of fatherless homes. Okay, cool. I didn't grow up in a fatherless home. Well, you're still a nigger. You see what I'm saying? So all of these people think that they can just behave their way out of white supremacy. What do they say about Barack Tether Obama, the biracial Kenyan? What did they say about him? He's articulate. He's clean. He's a good-looking lad. He's tall. He's all this. And still, they hated his guts. They're blaming him for everything. They're blaming him for racism. So no, you can't behave your way out of white supremacy. You can't behave your way into thinking that people who see you as inferior will start liking and, have any adulation for you. But let's commence. And we'll be wrapping this up soon. This was a late night impromptu stream. And I appreciate all of y'all who has slid through to rock out with me.
Racist or bigoted shit, then no one is talking about you. Don't be a dumbass.
Look, a couple of people just had their visas revoked by this administration for saying things about Charlie Kirk. This administration also tried to kick people out of the country for...
It's funny, people have got their visas revoked and been fired because they said stuff about Charlie, racist, the bigot, Kirk. But these same people will talk about, we're against cancel culture. Unless you talk about Charlie Kirk, then they want to cancel you. I'm a free speech absolutist. I should be able to say anything. I should be able to say nigger all I want. Okay, cool. And then I say, fuck Charlie Kirk. Oh, fire him. So you want to say nigger, but I can't say fuck Charlie Kirk? Are you kidding me? Let's commence.
Protesting on college campuses, pro-Palestinian protests. I just can't, I don't see how these guys who are not college, not all of them were college age, some of them were, but not all of them were, are somehow exempt from even basic levels of accountability, which is just to say, this is wrong, this is bad, but all those other people can get kicked out of the country.
I think a lot of them were
jobs,
fired.
all of that stuff.
I do think there's been accountability.
Yeah, I'm talking about the vice president.
Yeah, exactly. The buck stops with him.
His view,
what do you
it
want him
seems.
to do? Like legally,
Well, no, I mean, I just think the vice president
stand out against racism and stand up for his brown kids.
I don't think that people should have their lives ruined.
I know, but we're talking about two different things. You're talking about like
I think he could have said, I think a different way he could have put it, Abby, was, I'm not going to tell my kids, don't do something in a group chat so you don't get caught. It should be, don't do it.
Right.
Because calling somebody the N-word is racist and wrong. And let's teach the history about the N-word.
Listen, as a parent,
that is what the leader,
as a
the second
parent,
person.
I don't know many parents who would look at a situation like this and tell their kid, the lesson here is just don't say
Get
it where
caught.
people can catch you.
But also
the lesson here is don't say things like this.
But it's also not don't.
One Eye Willie is playing stupid. What do you want him to say? Are you effing kidding me? Like he knows what JD is doing there and trying to defend it and trying to justify it instead of teaching people that it's wrong and disgusting and ousting that kind of stuff from your party. Like, cut the crap. All these people are the same.
Say the N-word because it's racist. I think it's actually, we have to be more specific about these things. It is dehumanizing.
Yes.
People are individuals. They have their dignity on the basis of their individual characteristics. JD Vance isn't letting down his children. He is humiliating himself. And he isn't letting down his children on account of their being brown or his wife being brown. I really do think that there is a kind of obvious obscenity to the way that we talk about people, the nounification of everything, where these identity silos are where we imagine people live. That's the conversation we were having the other day.
I agree.
It was misconstrued as me suggesting Barack Obama isn't a black man. What I'm saying is Barack Obama is an individual. We all are. That is what our dignity ought to be apportioned on the basis of. JD Vance could make a case like that. That's pretty straightforward. It doesn't require condemning anyone.
Right.
What the hell did he just say? JD Vance can make a case like that, bro. All you did was just say some incoherent babble that didn't even connect. Did anyone understand what he just said? he talked and just sound like he said something. This is just a nothing burger with a side of fries and extra bacon. That's all it was. Bro didn't say anything. He's been thinking he's been cooking this whole time, but all he has been doing is tap dancing better than the late great Gregory Hines. This is pathetic.
But you think Barack Obama is an individual.
I know he's an individual.
Those people saying the N-word do not. And so we
that
have
may
to
be-
live.
that may be
We
true.
have to live in
So
reality, right? And
in
so
the reality,
That may be true. Yeah, it is true, fool. That's why she's saying it to you. Man, bruh, you know what? But I gotta hit this dude. Whoever this dude is.
You know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
And I quote, you know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
What did you say, nigga?
Bro, what the hell did he say? Let's commence.
be aspirational,
Right.
but we also have to live as black people walking down the street.
But that's just that the aspiration is to be beyond race, to exist beyond the
But we
brown
don't.
paper
Let's
bag
just
test.
know.
that-
We don't.
and exist.
So here he goes. That's the aspiration. So what he's talking about is that colorblind. I don't see color. Like, come on, bruh. Who wants to live in a world where you don't see color? You see Michael Jordan, it's like, I don't even see color, man. He's black. No, man, he ain't black. I don't see color. He's a human being. He's an American. Like, no, he's a foundational black American. No, that's identity politics and that's woke. We have to get past race. And it's funny because they never go have these talks with white supremacists who literally their whole identity is about preserving race. And then he tries to have this whole, well, yeah, we aspirationally need to get past that. Like, bro, what country do you think you're living in, bro?
The
Yeah, no,
journey
I
that
do.
J.D. Vance
And I
is
think that is an important
of,
choice that one
these
can make
people
as an
saying, I
individual.
love Hitler, and he used to say Donald Trump is America's Hitler. So let's look at the devolution of J.D. Vance in this. I mean, not that long ago, he was whistleblowing about the man who he now serves under.
Seems willing to say about just about anything.
Yes, and now he is defending the people in this group text that are talking about gassing people. They're talking about ovens, and they're saying, I love Hitler.
He's not quite defending them so much as obfuscating.
Saying, don't get
But I
caught.
do think that I think the difference is meaningful.
Bro, why is this dude playing Captain Save-A-Ho? Get this goofy nigga out of here, man.
Signal. I think the signal to what the racists heard is him defending
quick
him
last word.
and giving it a green light. That's what I think.
Hey,
bro, come on now, dog.
Counterpunch is the only move anybody
Come
makes.
on,
Spider-Man
man.
Kick J. Jones off his ticket.
Sure.
That's why J.D. Vance felt compelled to not defend, but obfuscate, if you will. We're never going to get anywhere with a lot of our problems as long as that is the answer. There's a great chance for people to do that right now. You can denounce these guys, and Abby can kick Jay off the ticket.
Look at this dude's face. He didn't make excuses. He obfuscated. That's a euphemism for that he made excuses. Come on, bruh. I gotta hit him with this. And shout out to brother Jason Black, because when I hear this dude talk,
Hope, please.
Nigga, please.
Hope.
Nigga, what? Nigga. Nigga, please. Nigga, please.
All right. I mean, it's a very fair point. Coming up next.
It's not. Oh my God! It's not a fair point. It's not it's not a pattern, right? Jay Jones. That's discussing what he said. He should be kicked off the ticket. That has nothing to do with the overarching issue, the macro issue. It's a effing pattern, guys. The Republican Party is becoming even more extreme because of this, because they refuse to identify it and talk aggressively and directly about it. The party's moving even more bigoted towards that little weird fuck, Nick Fuentes. This is what happens when you let it linger. It's like a plague. You need to stop it in its track before it takes over society, essentially. What these pundits are doing is the same crap when Charlie Kirk passed away, they tried to ignore the clear extremism and bigotry and hate spewing that was part of what caused it. They deleted the study. The Trump administration deleted the study from their own government website that showed murders are committed far, far more by right-wing extremism. They want to close their eyes to all of this because they don't want to alienate those people. Those are their voters. They created these monsters. And I just want the world to know who Republicans or conservatives are. Really.
Okay, now he's getting into the bit of the partisan babble where he's saying, oh, well, the big, bad, mean Republicans are doing this. It's like, nah, man, both parties are the same. And they play good cop, bad cop. So the Democrats actually agree with a lot of the stuff the Republicans are doing. Even if they don't agree, they know that they're insulated from it and that it won't affect them. And sometimes they prefer it because it gives them an issue to run on. That's what they're doing right now with the whole ICE raids and healthcare. Oh, look, man, we treat immigrants humanely, so vote for us. Oh, look, we'll fight for healthcare even though we didn't do nothing when we were in power, but vote for us again. So all it is a sham. All it is a scheme. But this has been an impromptu stream. I sincerely appreciate all the people that came through, all the people that will be watching this on the replay. And like I said, man, I don't have a set schedule yet, but I will be more consistent with this streams. I'm going to be hitting y'all with live streams, pre-recorded clips, etc. And we just going to keep it rocking out. But before we get ready to shut it down, you know, I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy, that dude, shit so hot it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. It's a lot of niggas that say they real. To me, that shit is far-fetched. Most them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I rock up on them with the 40 ounces. It's the definition of adrenaline rush. What it do is sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like willow pads. Grew about on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on willow pads. These birds that I roll with, outcasts and misfits. Better zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flatline in your pit. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like boo-coo. For the cocaine, they go cuckoo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches just the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on Chirac and then fly back out the mill. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, I be burning up, burning up. Cookies to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so hot, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.